You photographed 500 cars at Horizon Mexico. I don't even... What will you do now?
Hey, amigo. Remember that thing I said I needed help with? This is it. You in?
Of course. What do you need?
Excellent. Come meet me near Mulegé.
Hi, Rami. What's the plan?
Okay. Hear me out. Beautiful Mexican supercar, beautiful Mexican roads, promoting the Horizon Festival.
Do we need promoting? The festival seems to be doing okay.
All right. I'll find someone else.
That's not what I said. Of course I'll help you.
I knew I could rely on you. Let's go! Whew. Let's get moving. Get some speed, then turn into the countryside. Really see what this car can do. Whew. Let's get moving. Get some speed. Then turn into the countryside. Really see what this car can do. Great speed! But let's see how you handle some corners.
You want to tell me about the car, don't you?
I thought you'd never ask. So VUL is an abbreviation. It stands for Vehicles of Ultra Lightweight and High Performance. It was started by two brothers, Guillermo and Iker Echeverria. The VUL 05 is a track-focused supercar, designed and produced in Mexico, but tested and optimized in the UK. I even think I saw one at the festival when I was over there. We're driving the pre-production version of the VUL 05RR, an even more track-focused version. Somehow, the designers reduced the weight by 65 kilos and increased the power to nearly 400 bhp. Then they lowered the engine by 50 millimeters to drop the center of gravity and improve cornering. Impressive! They're pretty serious about the ultra-light part. The 05RR even has an option for titanium bolts. Less sightseeing, more going fast. Perfect. There's a couple of other things you can help out with, if it's not too much trouble.
You're never gonna let me live that down, are you? Call me.
just got my head. That's on a piece of Mexican racing history. Wanna see?
Of course! On my way. Let me guess. Today's episode of Mexican Automotive History with Ramiro is about the Baja 1000.
You are very perceptive, my friend. This dune buggy was the first car to race here. Let's take it for a spin. The Baja 1000 is probably the most prestigious race held in Mexico. Do you know how it all started?
I assume the Myers Manx has something to do with it.
Correct again. The Baja 1000 started as a very elaborate marketing campaign for the car you're driving. But let me start from the beginning. On the 22nd of March, 1962, Dave Eakins and Billy Robertson did the first real Baja run. They went from Tijuana to La Paz in 39 hours, 56 minutes on new Honda CL72 Scrambler motorcycles. So they probably were a bit sore afterwards. They got a lot of media coverage though. A year later, Myers started to work on a prototype buggy he called Old Red in his garage in Newport Beach. It was based on the VW Beetle, and it paved the way for what we know as buggies. Cars that are built for off-roading using the Beetle as a donor chassis. But I guess they wanted even more publicity because in April 1967, Myers decided to make an attempt at breaking Eakins' record. And it worked! Myers did it in 34 hours and 45 minutes, beating Eakins for more than 5 hours. The rivalry was known as Buggy Beats Bike in Baja. Sounds like something you did back in the UK, doesn't it? Myers Manx became an overnight sensation as a result, and suddenly they were friendly races all across the Baja. It wasn't long before they realized they needed something more organized, and that was Mexican 1000. Guess who won the inaugural event?
Myers Manx?
You're on fire today! Yes, in 27 hours and 38 minutes. The official race was 100 miles shorter than the original route, but it's still impressive. The Mexican 1000 was later renamed to the Baja 1000 and is run to this day. I love that story. My abuela used to tell it to me at least once a year. Hey, come quick! Papa Fernando needs your help!
Okay. I'll be right there. Oh, right. I get it now.
To be honest, though, it was me who needed your help, not Papa Fernando.
I can't fault that logic. Who are the other racers?
You know them. It's the Born Fast crew. They're raring to go. Hey, he's eager. But this isn't really a street race. There's no checkpoints, just the finish line. So keep to the route and get there first. It's hard to overstate the effect that the Beetle had when it arrived in Mexico in 1954. Before that, all we had were these huge American cars. So this new European-style car with its shape and light chassis and those adorable headlights and an engine that anyone with a tractor could fix was, well, a complete game changer. They were so exciting that they were displayed at the Ciudad Universitaria in Mexico City, and there were lines to come and see this new car. Production of the Beetle started in Mexico soon after 7 of them finished the Carrera Panamericana. Before that, people were a bit worried about reliability, you see. We Mexicans love a good-looking car, but a car that can do work is better. The Panamericana convinced us, and in '61, Automex had assembled 250 of them. By '62, the first plant had opened in Jalostoc, making 10 of them a day. We love that car. So another plant opened in Puebla in 1967. And in '71... That is a great car. Probably the most iconic car in all of Mexico. Ay, es increíble que un auto tan pequeño deje un vacío tan grande. Adiós, Sedan. Thanks. I'll call you when I've got that next one ready. I have a brilliant idea!
Another one. What happened to the previous idea?
This one is better. Meet me in town. I have two cars here. A first-generation Volkswagen and a seventh-generation Volkswagen Golf. Made in Mexico for almost half a century. Sadly, they stopped building them in 2021. But we can still race them. What do you say? To make it fair, I will give you a chance to make an informed choice. Let's go for a test drive. And I've got lots to tell you about Volkswagen Mexico. Volkswagen Mexico headquarters are in Puebla City. It started production in 1967 with the famous Beetle. As we call it, the Bocho. VW made multiple attempts at replacing the famous Beetle with newer models, but all of them failed way short of achieving the production figures until the Volkswagen Golf came into play. The first generation was released in Mexico as the Volkswagen Caribe and had quite a few variations, including the Golf GTI you're driving right now. VW engineers, inspired by the Beetle GSR, designed and prototyped the Golf in secret as a Skunk Works project. Little did they know that the Golf GTI would become the hot hatch. Shall we jump 40 years in the future and try the seventh generation? The seventh generation of the Golf first appeared in 2012. This version is the Volkswagen Golf R, R meaning race. This was the fastest Golf in the range, with a 0 to 60 time of 5.1 seconds. Volkswagen Mexico produced all 7 generations of the Golf, totaling more than 2 million units over 44 years. In fact, a lot of Golfs you find in the US were built here. alright. Enough driving around. Let's go head to head, after you've had a chance to rest. I'm a fair man. I'll let you choose. Which Golf do you want to drive for our little race?
I'll take the Golf GTR.
I hope you know some shortcuts. See you at the finish line. Don't make me wait for too long. I see what you're doing, but you still can't win. What a race! I am actually surprised the first generation still holds up. I'm sure you didn't cheat. have a story to tell you, my friend. About the... the old wolf in the swamp.
Are we going to a zoo?
A swamp! I'll pick you up. I hope you know some shortcuts. See you at the finish line. Don't make me wait for too long. What a race! The difference 40 years makes! I have a story to tell you, my friend. About the old wolf in the swamp.
Are we going to a zoo?
A swamp! I'll pick you up.
That's the old wolf.
No, that's an old truck. The wolf is waiting for us at the swamp. Haley asked us to clear some debris, and I've got just the car. But we need to get there first.
Of course! Who do you think I am?
The driver who destroyed a record-breaking amount of fences.
That's fair.
For this kind of driving, you get to explain to Haley why she's paying to repair my granddad's car.
See? Got it here in one piece.
And gave me a few heart attacks. And now, let me introduce you to the Ford Lobo. This car is more your style.
Now that's a hecking good wolf.
We call it Lobo here. Marketing in this country is outstanding. Let's get to work. See all that brush and stuff? Clear it out. What? No! It's not just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. It is just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. In the 90s, Ford decided that they needed to rebrand the F-150 for the Mexican market. And the name Lobo just has a real ring to it. They started using the badge in 1997, and the rest is history. The Ford Lobo quickly became one of the most popular vehicles in the country. Lobo is still used for the modern Rangers like the one based on the F-150 Raptor you're driving. But we don't just call it Lobo. No. We call it Lobo Raptor.
So it's the same car?
Now, there are loads of differences, like a dog and a wolf. Lobo only comes in XLT and with higher trim levels. The base version is still sold in Mexico as the F-150, but the Lobo is the elite F-150. Great. Job's done. And the scratches will buff right out. Thanks for the help. Now I just need to get my abuelo's old F-100 back to the garage. We call it Lobo here. Marketing in this country is outstanding. Let's get to work. See all that Russian stuff? Clear it out. What? No! It's not just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. It is just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. In the 90s, Ford decided that they needed to rebrand the F-150 for the Mexican market. And the name Lobo just has a real ring to it. They started using the badge in 1997, and the rest is history. The Ford Lobo quickly became one of the most popular vehicles in the country. Lobo is still used for the modern Rangers like the one based on the F-150 Raptor you're driving. But we don't just call it Lobo. No. We call it Lobo Raptor.
So it's the same car?
Now, there are loads of differences, like a dog and a wolf. Lobo only comes in XLT and with higher trim levels. The base version is still sold in Mexico as the F-150, but the Lobo is the elite F-150. Great. Job's done. And the scratches will buff right out. Thanks for the help. Now I just need to get my abuelo's old F-100 back to the garage. We call it Lobo here. Marketing. in this country is outstanding. Let's get to work. See all that Russian stuff? Clear it out. What? No! It's not just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. It is just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. In the 90s, Ford decided that they needed to rebrand the F-150 for the Mexican market. And the name Lobo just has a real ring to it. They started using the badge in 1997, and the rest is history. The Ford Lobo quickly became one of the most popular vehicles in the country. Lobo is still used for the modern Rangers like the one based on the F-150 Raptor you're driving. But we don't just call it Lobo. No. We call it Lobo Raptor.
So it's the same car?
Now, there are loads of differences, like a dog and a wolf. Lobo only comes in XLT and with higher trim levels. The base version is still sold in Mexico as the F-150, but the Lobo is the Elite F-150. Great. Job's done. And the scratches will buff right out. Thanks for the help. Now I just need to get my abuelo's old F-100 back to the garage. We call it Lobo here. Marketing in this country is outstanding. Let's get to work. See all that Russian stuff? Clear it out. What? No! It's not just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. It is just an excuse to throw the Lobo around. In the 90s, Ford decided that they needed to rebrand the F-150 for the Mexican market. And the name Lobo just has a real ring to it. They started using the badge in 1997, and the rest is history. The Ford Lobo quickly became one of the most popular vehicles in the country. Lobo is still used for the modern Rangers like the one based on the F-150 Raptor you're driving. But we don't just call it Lobo. No. We call it Lobo Raptor.
So it's the same car?
Now, there are loads of differences, like a dog and a wolf. Lobo only comes in XLT and with higher trim levels. The base version is still sold in Mexico as the F-150, but the Lobo is the Elite F-150. job's done, and the scratches will buff right out. Thanks for the help. Now I just need to get my abuelo's old F100 back to the garage. I've got 1,400 horses and I need you to help with... them.
I think I know what this is. I'll be right over.
I know you've got one of these, somehow, so you know a little bit about what you're in for. Let's go! Let's take this down to the beach. Stick it in AWD if you like. There's some nice curves up ahead. Calm down. I know you like to go fast, but I had a big breakfast. This is 2021's EV of the year. And it was up against things like the Taycan and the e-tron and the Recharge. It set 3 Guinness World Records, and it's inspired by the beautiful original Mach 1. And I'm telling you all of this because the Mach E was built right here in Mexico at Cuautitlán Assembly. Whoa! How do you make it go around corners like that? I'm really asking. Hey, I have to give this back! Be careful with it. Cuautitlán Assembly has been building cars since the 60s. And more than 2.2 million cars later, we're sitting in an actual space machine made here in Mexico. Quite a journey from Cougars and Thunderbirds and F-150s to this. This isn't just a prototype. Cuautitlán Assembly does a range of options for the Mach E. A 68 kilowatt-hour standard and an 88 kilowatt-hour extended range version. It will give you over 300 miles of range on a single charge. The Performance GT version is the really wild one. 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. This one is quite a bit faster. Honestly, when I first tried it, I had to go and sit in a quiet room for a bit. And I've flown airplanes in a storm. It's wild tech. You can switch from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive at the touch of a button. And when you get into tuning, you can basically tweak every one of the 7 engines individually. It can make 1,400 horsepower and a ton of downforce at 160 miles per hour thanks to the Aero 2.
So what you're saying is...
And there we go. Sunrise over the sea. Beautiful. But we're not done. There's one more thing to look at. I'll let you know as soon as I have, found it. Okay, this one will be epic. I found the Porsche Carrera. You know what that means?
Racing? And what do you mean, found?
In a barn, of course. And of course it's racing. Come meet me at Guanajuato. This beauty got her name from the Carrera Panamericana. The races don't run anymore, but who can blame us if we take it out one more time? right? Let's see what this car can do. There's Jamin! Guess he wanted one last race.
Let's do this!
Race had 132 competitors, and everyone turned up. Amateurs to F1 drivers, men, women, professionals, anyone who had a car.
Do you know anyone who participated?
Aleja thinks Papa Fernando did, but she thinks Papa Fernando did everything. I know we used to go to the races with my grandfather. Ah, qué buenos recuerdos. There was no speed limit before 2012, and you'd see cars doing 180 miles per hour. Not that I know anything about that. 2,178 miles of the Pan American Highway run through Mexico. The race itself had 9 stages and lasted 5 days. But the sheer distance wasn't the only challenge. Constant changes in the elevation from sea level to 3 kilometers up. The most challenging road race in the world. The winner of the very first Carrera Panamericana was Herschel McGriff, who drove an Oldsmobile 88 at an average speed of 88 miles per hour. The Porsche Carrera got its name thanks to Hans Hermann, who won the small sports cars category in 1954. He drove the Porsche 550 Spider and came 3rd overall. He was sick before the race, and his tires came off at the start. He really pulled through against the odds. Porsche had 6 cars competing in 1954, and all of them made it through the end. A lot of others didn't, let me tell you.
Enjoying yourself, are you? Yeah, I kinda had a feeling you were.
1954 was the last year the original Carrera Panamericana took place. But it gave us the most famous Porsche model, the Carrera you're driving right now. The Carrera RS 2.7 was the first production street racing 911. It was built on the 911S 2.4, the fastest Porsche you could buy at the time, and a popular choice in the later Carrera Panamericana races. The race was revived in 1988 and ran to 2016. This is Jamin's exit. Having fun, my friend. Take care.
Looking forward to seeing what you can do out there. Have fun now, yeah?
Great race. Almost like we did a little Panamericana with a friend. Anyways, hope you had fun with this little stroll through cars hechos en Mexico.
It was great. And let me know if you find any other cars like that. hello to Mexico.
Technically, I brought high car because I thought someone else could break it for a change.
And I brought low car because it's the only one in our parking lot that's running right now.
Then I brought Zach Job because he's my super cool and handy road trip buddy.
Also, I'm the professional and better driver than James.
I came to check out the Horizon car scene. I've been trying to get to the Horizon Festival forever.
I came because I was hungry.
Wait, if we're all here, who's watching the shop?
My dog's got it.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Wait a sec. You get higher low Z's and I get stopped.
Dude, you have the most important job at Donut right now.
I do?
We're always debating between high and low car, right? What's better, cheap and charming or top of the line? What if there was a third option? Some kind of middle car. The coming of mid-car has been spoken of in legend.
I think I see where you're going with this.
But right now, Team High are headed north and Team Low are headed south. So, you gotta... pick one. Pick Team Low. High team, for real.
Way to handle the fair lady. You're gonna fit right in on low team.
High team.
Low team. Hey, James. So, high car broke down, huh?
No. You're right. We're just testing the capabilities as an RV.
Yeah, high car definitely broke down.
Zach has the engine teardown under control, but it might take a while. What are we gonna do?
How about we take some cars and some cameras and get up to speed on the Nissan Z? So this is everything you need need to know to get up to speed on the Nissan Z while we drive them.
No way! No way, no way!
In October of 1969, the 240Z arrived in America, known in Japan as the Fair Ladies. The American version had a 2.4-liter inline-six, giving it a robust 151 horsepower. It could go from 0 to... So this is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Nissan Z while we drive them.
No way! No way, no way!
In October of 1969, the 240Z arrived in America, known in Japan as the Fair Lady Z. The American version had a 2.4-liter inline-six, giving it a robust 151 horsepower. It could go from 0 to 60 in just under 8 seconds and cost around $3,600. I would love to find a 240Z for $3,600. Jumping to more current times, in 2001, an announcement was made. The return of the Z to America. Nissan debuted a bright orange Z concept car, the Nissan 350Z. It was released to wide acclaim the very next year. While the 350Z was good, Nissan knew they could do better. Debuting in 2008, the Nissan 370Z was almost a complete redesign from the 350. The engine swapped out to the huge 3.7-liter V6.
It was also still affordable and looked... amazing.
Lucky for us and all the Z-Series fans, Nissan didn't stop there. In 2023, the new Nissan Z arrived, the newest in their line of modern sports cars, this time with 400 horsepower. The new Z uses the same platform as the 370Z, but now it's got a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine.
Now I kind of wish I'd gotten the Roadster. C432, baby. Can't beat a classic.
My Z is the mightiest Z.
This is great, but I still miss high car.
Congratulations, you are now officially up to speed on the Nissan Z.
This is interesting new upgrade for high car.
Yeah, we installed a full flatbed truck kit under it. It came out pretty well.
Well, our car still works, so let's drive that.
Hard right, then floor it. Nolan, high car on a flatbed can still beat low car any day of the week.
Are you serious? Dude, come on.
Hey, so, I said a stupid thing to my buddy Nolan, and now you need to make me look less stupid. Can you do that?
I've got it. It was the crank angle sensor. That's a pretty easy replacement once we get back to the festival.
For life, baby! You helped a lot too. Thanks, pal. All right, before we get started on our high-low test track finale, one more thing we gotta do to welcome the newest member of the Donut family.
What? Me?
If you break a car with us, you're officially family. We've got a big family.
We told you at the start, sometimes it's hard to decide between high car and low car. So...
The legends were true. The glory of mid-car awaits.
I'm nervous now.
Don't be. This is the best part. We picked up another identical stock Nissan Z, and it's yours to customize.
choose your upgrades and we'll get them installed.
I will definitely be helping you guys.
Let's start with new wheels and tires. Now for new brakes, diff, springs, and a big fat turbo. You probably want to look at a roll cage and some aero too. That Rocket Bunny wide body is pretty tempting. Now finish it off with a paint job. Or if you're really brave, let Nolan do it.
Man, I'll never live that down.
Be careful. You can spin more than low car, but less than high car. Mid car. You got it? All done? Looks pretty dope. We could probably cram a few more upgrades in there. Start with some test laps. Get a good feel for it. All right, believe it or not, high and low Z are both running, so we are good to go.
This is it. We did it. We are here. The final showdown of this very special, very exciting Horizon/Donut edition of High Low.
We bought 3 nearly identical Nissan 350Zs. One got cheap parts, one got expensive parts, and for the first time ever, one got a mix of the two. I'll be in low car.
I'll be in high car.
And I'll be in mid-car with our special guest driver.
Hi.
Time to find out once and for all. Does more expensive mean more better? Or is more in between more gooder and smarter? Okay, that wasn't great, but it's in format, so we can work on it.
Let's go! Show 'em what mid-car can do!
High Z all day, baby, woo! Whether it wins or not, low Z rules.
You guys, it's been great working with you, but I'm running away to join Horizon.
Be safe, have fun, I love you, but you're still gonna lose. More friends definitely means more better.
Cars are paid. The heart is the most important part.
A detour! Take it off-road! Coming up on the finish line, let it eat!
Did it! I can't believe you did it, dude. I am so proud of you. This changes everything. You're gonna have to move to LA. We need to get you some t-shirts and like a hat. You know how to read a teleprompter.
I've got a better idea. How about you all join us here for a while?
Oh, can we, James? Can we, please, please, please?
I can't say no to that face. All right, maybe for a little while.
Time to find out. Once and for all, does more expensive mean more better? Or is more in between more gooder and smarter? Okay, that wasn't great, but it's in format, so we can work on it.
Let's go! Show 'em what mid-car can do!
High Z all day, baby, woo! Whether it wins or not, low Z rules.
You guys, it's been great working with you, but I'm running away to join Horizon.
Be safe, have fun, I love you, but you're still gonna lose. More friends definitely means more better.
Cars are paid. The heart is the most important part.
A detour! Take it off-road! Coming up on the finish line, let it eat! find out.